What's going on, guys? I decided tonight, Saturday night, hanging out, I was building some trucks, and I said, you know what? Let's make a video. So I realize I have way too many mini cars right now. Um, More if we include this awesome little guy, this little Orlando Toyota Tundra, basically. I built this a while ago. It's cool. It's just a little fragile, but it's pretty awesome. I dig it. It's fun. It's fun in the house. I mean, this is not something I would run outside. The independent front suspension is really fragile, in my opinion. I think they make an aluminum setup now, but I don't know. I just don't care enough because I don't. It's more of a shelf queen for me. But so, anyways, I was building a bunch of these trucks. I just kind of wanted to go over some of them, and I know there's not a lot of info on the Fuertech stuff. This is a little guy racing parts Ultra 24 that I'm in love with. So I kind of wanted to go over how I built it because this is very different from the way they recommend building it and the way I've seen other people do it. And then I figured let's compare it to some stuff. I have a stock SCX24. I have an Endura buggy SCX24 build. I have a couple Fuertechs here. And then these are Fuertechs as well. Those are the Diorama, which is like their monster truck basically, and this is the Gold Digger, so that's more of like a rock buggy. But I figured I'll save this for a little bit later because this is probably my favorite build right now out of everything I have. And then we'll go over that one, so I'll just move that out of the way. And let's just start right off the bat with this awesome Fuertech Cayman Pro 6x6. So I did change from the stock tires and wheels. So this is another Cayman Pro. These are the stock tires and wheels that it comes with. They come unglued plastic wheels. You know, they do okay. I messed with them a little bit in the indoor course at the shop I go to. And they were all right. They weren't anything crazy, but a lot better. Just these swampers from RC four-wheel drive. But so this was a Cayman Pro. And one thing I will say, I shortened the rear up because I ended up using the rear XL links on the Ultra 24. So this, just to get back together, I shortened it up. But these are really cool. I'm not going to spend too much time on these. These are literally all the Fuertech upgrades in this. So there's obviously no speed control, no ESC, or receiver rather, because I pulled them and they're in my other rig. But this is actually set up four-wheel steer. So that's pretty sick. I will say this performs really well too. I really like the build of this. I did change the shocks out. The Mini Komodo is really nice. Their stellar transmission is good. I've had good luck with these Springbox servos that they come with. And the nice thing is, you know, running FMS axles, the portals are metal already. The diff gears are plastic, but I've had no issue. I've had these in a bunch of rigs actually, and I've had no problems. I like the FMS axles better than the SCX24 axles just because to me they're beefier, they're wider, and for things I'm building, they make more sense. But enough about that one. It's pretty cool, but let's go to the beast over here. So this is the 6x6 version. Everything is stock on it. The only thing I did was I changed out the wheels to the Trail, these bead locks off Amazon. And I did RC four-wheel drive mudslingers all the way around. And I believe I have to double check. Yeah, I do have Trail wheel extensions in the back here. And now that I see that I have those, I actually am going to take those off and put those on the Ultra 24 because I want to get that just a hair wider. So those will come off. But this thing is awesome. I do have Trail portal covers up front, just brass. And this has a hefty weight to it. The crazy thing to me is this weight compared to like a stock SCX24. This thing is like plastic. This doesn't weigh a thing compared to this. It's nuts, the difference. I don't have my scale down here, otherwise I would weigh them. But, you know, I mean, just look at the width of it. It's just a monster. So let me just throw this over here. All right, so this thing is awesome. I would love if someone starts making like 3D printed beds or something for this. I think that'd be pretty cool. This would be a really cool rig to like have a bed on here and like tow stuff. I think that'd be kind of neat. I was just thinking about that. I don't have a 3D printer, but I thought that might be kind of cool. Where you can have like, it's a trail, you know, rig to take your trail rig into the woods or whatever you want to do. But this is cool. So like I said, all stock, nothing really tweaked. I'm running my Radiolink RC8X, which I'm loving. This is all the electronics it comes with. Obviously my own receiver, Springbox servo again. And the only upgrades I did, I have the wheel extensions in the rear for, and I just put those on because I had them. I think I did something up front too because the width is about the same. So I do have some type of extension up front. I just can't remember what it is. And then I have the Trail bead locks, RC four-wheel drive tires, and the Trail brass covers on the front portal. So this thing is really cool. It crawls really well. I did these mudslingers because I want it more to be like a trail rig, a small trail rig for dirt and mud and not necessarily rock crawling, but I thought that would be kind of cool. So that's kind of how I built that. So that's it. I think these are really cool. I think they're well worth the price. I know they're pretty high. I think this minus, like it's almost ready to run without the radio. I want to say it's like 370, maybe 380. I can't remember. But I like it. I've had no issues with it. The FMS axles are durable. All the Fuertech stuff has been good. And like I said, these are all Fuertech, these four. And I've had no issues with anything. I don't have a lot of runtime on all of them, but I have runtime on each of them. And I've had no problems. I'm digging it a lot. So this is a great rig if you want a 6x6 that you don't have to deal with trying to figure it out. This is the wood and go with. So there you go. I think it's pretty sick. Looking forward to getting this out again. Haven't had it out too much because we're in winter here in the Northeast and just cold. And when I do go out, we've been running the 10 scale cheater rigs. So that's that. Let's get to the next one over here. Let's just look at a stock SCX24. Obviously, I broke that, but what are you gonna do? I don't need to spend a lot of time on this. Literally stock, nothing changed on this. I got this in a trade. I've owned one of the old the Jeeps that they had, and I didn't have it that long. I wasn't a big fan of it. This is the C10 I got in a trade. I had another C10 that I used as the base for my Ultra 24 build, and then I also had a deadbolt, and that's in pieces and apart because I've used parts for the from the Endura buggy for that. And they're pretty cool. They're nice. The thing is with something like this, you can't really get big tires and wheels on it. I have some Endura. I mean, this is the difference. It is crazy. It's so hard to see, but these are massive. You really have to cut this body if you wanted to use these or go with another body. I know Proline has the cliffhanger, which I have. I haven't painted yet. I could throw that on here if I wanted to. It's an option, but it's one of those things where this is cool if my girlfriend wanted to run this or just someone wanted to test out 24th scale. But to be honest with you, with a lot of the comp builds I have here, there's really no point in running this unless you wanted to compare to see how much better the comp rig is or, the differences and nuances of a heavier vehicle, lighter vehicle, that kind of stuff. But SCX24, it's pretty cool. But most of my builds here have FCX24 portal axles, and I like those way better. Let's go with this. This is kind of a cool little guy here. So I saw this. The cage is pretty cheap. It's like 30 bucks online. One thing I will say is 30 bucks seems cheap. You get the LED bar, you get the interior piece, which is up here, kind of fake seats. And I can get the little batteries I use underneath the tray and then put this in, and it's kind of hidden, which is nice. But one thing I will say, people want to get into the things for cheap, and listen, there's nothing wrong with that. An SCX24 is about 130 bucks. You could probably get them used in the ballpark of $100, give or take. So this isn't that bad. You can literally buy this kit, buy this chassis for 30 bucks and basically swap everything in and run it. And the only thing I did is I took the case off of the ESC receiver combo to just have more room, and I have it double-sided taped underneath this piece here. So all my receiver, you can see the green board there. It's underneath my motor and my battery, and then my servo's plugged in and the LED bar is plugged in. And this is very light. And this actually is running Endura metal plus 4mm axles. So that's pretty crazy. I think it's cool. I like it. These are the Proline. These are pre-mounted, the Proline Mickey Thompson Baja Pro X tires. I like them. I have to say they remind me of the Swamp Kings from Little Guy Racing Parts. And those are my favorite tire. And you know they're my favorite tire because I have them on this. I have them on the Ultra 24. And then I actually, I have multiple sets and I have their beadlock torque wheels too. I really like, these are awesome wheels, awesome tires, especially if you want a big, good tire. I'm going to do more testing, but everything I've done so far, those Swamp Kings are insane. So going back to this, we got the I did the blue panels. I'm running stock shocks. Everything is stock on here on the chassis side of things, like electronics. I am running, so Endura plus 4mm aluminum axles, front and rear. I have the Emax servo, which is an ES08MA2 servo. The Endura comes with, I did not buy these separate, the aluminum links there. I did buy these aluminum links separate. I think they're just cheap Amazon links. They're high clearance. They work really good. They work good. They look good. I do like the stance of this a lot. I like the size of it. I think bigger tires would not look right because it's kind of a short wheelbase compared to, you know, I mean, the difference, I'll show you between the Ultra, it's insane, the difference in the Ultra here. And it's hard to tell in some of the angles, but that's a pretty big difference. It might not seem like a lot, but it is. But it's cool. I dig it a lot. Let's move that out of the way. I like the stance of it. It's got some good flex. I've never been a fan of dudes having, hey, I got 90 degrees of flex, check me out. I don't care. I go for little flex, and in all honesty, everything I've tested, it tends to work better for me especially. So that makes me pretty happy, I'm not gonna lie. So, what can I say? I think for 30 bucks it's pretty cool. The one thing I will say is when you look at something like this, if you have these type of axles already or the FCX24 axles, my thing is this is 30 bucks. The Ultra 24 kit is $100. And it is night and day better quality. I mean, this is literally plastic. This is all 3D printed. The print on this is insane, and we'll kind of go over that later, but you get a lot more for this kit. Yes, it's $70 more, but it's a bigger rig. It's going to perform better outdoors, and I don't know. I like this, I think, for what it is, and, you know, if I didn't have this and it was just like one or the other, if I can spend the extra money, I would get this, no questions asked, but it is nice to have this and just kind of see how they perform together too, because a shorter rig and a smaller rig and a lighter rig might be better in certain situations depending on what you're crawling. So listen, it is what it is. It's pretty cool. I do like it. Everything is skid is stock. Obviously the chassis, all the electronics are stock except for the Emax servo, stock drive shafts, Endura axles, aluminum high clearance links front and rear, and that's pretty much it. I think the servo mount was with the axle. I can't remember, to be honest with you. It is a metal mount, and I can't remember if I bought that separately or not. But either way, it is what it is. It's a pretty cool rig, and you know, stock electronics running Fuertech systems now, I mean, it sucks in the grand scheme of things, but it's totally doable. But compared to the other, the Outrunners and the Fuertech transmissions and their ESCs, it's night and day difference. So, cool little rig. And the nice thing is you can literally build this for all in basically 170, 180 bucks if you just wanted to do stock axles. And you can. I did have the stock axles on this for a little bit. It's obviously narrower width-wise, but it would be doable. And I do think this looks way cooler than the stock SCX24. You have a lot more clearance and things like that. So cool little rig. I dig it. I want to get some more use out of that. We're saving the baby to the last because this is my favorite right now. These things are sick. So these are both Fuertech rigs here. What can I say? The cages are the same. They're called different things. This is the Hirayama, and this is the Gold Digger. From what I can tell, it's the same cage. They're titanium, hand welded as far as I know. The welds are pretty good on these things, I gotta say. The weird thing to me is they actually are pretty light. You know, I was actually surprised when I picked this up and went, wait a minute, this is pretty light. I do have to say, you can't really tell on camera, but on this bar here, and a little bit here and here. The gold is wearing off. So we're getting just like that aluminum color, or titanium color, I should say. But I don't care about that. I mean, listen, I'm running it, I'm using it, so who cares? But just something to think about. This is shiny. This one's more matte. So I don't know, but underneath is shiny on that one too. So I don't know. The finish feels different on both of these. This is the same thing, same axles, different servo, different motors, different speed controls. This is locked. So the Gold Digger, the kit comes locked. So your axles are locked. So same axles, metal portal gears, plastic diff gears. Nothing was changed on here. I did make this little black tray that's just like black styrene. I did a piece of foam underneath, which is a little hard to see, but you can kind of see it. Between this brace and the one behind it to kind of hold it down. And then I also added 2 zip ties, one here, to hold that down. So that's where I put my battery. And I'll show you quick so I'm running these. So here's a stock SCX24 battery. I have like 4,000 of them, I feel like. So there's a stock battery. So here's a stock 350 milliamp 2S battery. Here's a 240 Fuertech. So I use these with this like locking, what the hell is it called? Velcro. And I have this on this rig, on the Cayman Pros I have it on. Just clicks in. I don't have to worry about strapping the battery down, which on these little ones is kind of hard sometimes and a pain in the ass. So I like doing it that way. But, you know, it's a little... You know, I don't know, because they didn't make this, like, this should have been made to fit this battery up here, which would have been good, but oh well. So I run these in the back in both these rigs, and it works fine. And these are honestly the batteries I run on all my little micro cars, and they're working good. And these are like $10 each, and I actually have these from the little Orlando I showed you. These are 260s, and I have 2 or 3 of these, and same thing, 7.4 volt, 2-cell, 260, 240s. JST plugs, how I run everything, and I'm digging these. I use all these, you know, and I kind of rotate them through different cars. So it works, no complaints from me. I would like a 350 in this size, but I'd rather have a little lighter battery and get a little less runtime, especially on the crawlers. It's not a big deal. But going back to this quick, so Fuertech Cayman, not at all. Fuertech Gold Digger. This is the Stellar transmission. This is a mini Komodo. I can't remember what KV this is. I'd have to look it up. Same shocks as the Cayman Pro, all the same metal link types of stuff. This is locked, as I said, so axles are locked. And this is the Lizard Pro ESC. And I'm running the Lizard Pro in the Ultra, in the 6x6, and I love them. They have Bluetooth. All the ones I have Bluetooth modules on them. I can mess with it on the phone. I can adjust the, you know, punch and FOC and drag brake and all that stuff. So I like that a lot. Same spring box servo on this as I'm running in the Caymans. And honestly, no issues. This has the, I almost said Trio because I was thinking about the other wheels. This has the LGRP Torx in like this is supposed to be bronze. It's a little more silver to me, but I like the look of it. Swamp Kings, obviously, stock foams in those. They're not vented, and they are awesome. I'm digging them a lot, but that's a good setup. And then very similar build here. So the only difference is you have dual plastic shocks. You have a Fuertech Galaxy servo, which actually, these Springboks can only go up to 6 volt for power output. And I am running all those on 6 volt. The Galaxy servos can go to 8.4 volts, and they're faster, and they have more torque. I have them in this, and I have them in the Ultra 24. And they're about $30. They come with a metal servo horn versus the plastic on the other ones. And I like it. This thing does not have an outrunner. This has an in-runner. This has the Lizard Ultimate, which can go 2 to 3S. It can take the higher voltage for the servo. It can output it. And this was the ready-to-run version, so I had the little Fuertech radio that comes with it. And the only real difference axle-wise on this is same axles, but it's open diff. being a monster truck, and the center diff or the center gears are metal as well. So a little different. This thing is stupid fast. This is like a 7500, yeah, 7500 Greyhound motor, 7500 kV, and this thing will wheelie. This is stupid fast. As far as I know, the receiver's waterproof, the ESC is waterproof. I think the servo's waterproof. I've seen people do mud with these, and these are cheap. These are the Angora monster truck wheels and tires. And I actually have the Mofo RC tires too, but I guess I have these on it currently. But this thing is fun. I didn't think I was going to have as much fun as I did with it, but it's pretty sick. I'm not going to lie. Let's just get to the nitty gritty here. Let's just take a quick look at this. So this is the Little Guy Racing Parts Ultra 24 rig. It's made for either their Super 8 axles, or you can just swap SCX24 axles on it. I had done the Angora axles because they're wider, and I had it all set up, and I was looking at it the other day, and I had the Springbox servo in it, and I'm looking at it, and it normally comes with 3D printed links, and then you can upgrade to their metal links. These are Fuertech, and I'll kind of go over what I did on this because this is a little bit custom. But the way this is set up, the front axle is pushed out a little bit, the rear's a little bit pushed out, even from stock. So, you know, different shocks I'm running in here. But basically what I did was I built the kit with the Angora at +4s, liked it, same tires and wheels, thought it was really cool. And then I was looking at it this morning and I went, wait a minute, will the FCX24 portal axles fit? I feel like it would just be a little bit wider, a little bit more beefy, and to me a little more durable is my thinking based on SCX24 axles and the worm gears. So I got to pulling everything apart, and what I ended up doing was the links front and rear are Cayman Pro XL. I think they are 65 millimeter. You can check. They're the same front and rear. So this extended my wheelbase, and using these allowed me to mount the shocks on the link themselves, because I do not, this is too wide, the mounting points, so I cannot put the shock out here as I would potentially on Angora axles, and I cannot axle mount the shocks basically. Surprisingly, it works really good though, so I have no complaints. I am running FMS drive shafts. You can run SCX24 drive shafts. They're the same output shafts, so that doesn't matter. I did swap in a mini stellar transmission, the Furitek, out of my Cayman, and that has an outrunner in it too. And again, I want to say it's like a 3000 kV or a 2000, I can't remember. But swap that in. I did have to reverse the skid, so my motor is facing to the back, because you have this battery tray here and the motor would hit the battery tray, it wouldn't work. So I flipped the skid. I had to change the balls on the links on the chassis side, because the FCX24 link side, that's how it was on here, but the balls are too wide to fit the skid. So I had to change those. I had these little brass colored, I think they came with my shocks, I don't remember, but I have them on all the chassis side mounts, and they work really well. I had no issues there. So basically it's SCX24 hardware here, FCX24 hardware on axle, and it worked out good. I did have to remove the ball end from the bottom of the shocks and basically just put a few O-rings on a screw with a washer, and then I have a nut behind it, and that's how I mounted those. So just talking about the kit really quick, love this thing. It's absolutely insane. I really am looking forward to checking out their Ripper chassis, which is kind of like a Jeep-based rig. I would love to see it with these, but I actually think I would build it with their Super 8 axles. Little Guy Racing Parts has a lot of good stuff. I really like their torque bead locks, which is what these are as well. Their Swamp King tires are my favorite tire right now. I have 4 sets of them. Their chassis kit is phenomenal. Everything went together really well. I ended up using some scale hardware I had for the body panels, which just kind of looked really cool. I did not paint the chassis. The chassis came this 3D printed this way, and these panels came in this color, and I really like that. And what I did do is I just painted these 3 parts, and I only use, so instead of spray painting these 3 little parts, I said this is kind of dumb. Literally a Sharpie. Because this is like this gray material, the Sharpie blended into it really well and bled into it really well, that I just painted it with red Sharpie, and then I did black Sharpie on that and the little filler cap up here. And then I CA glued those 3 down. I CA'd the fans down onto there and call that a day. The kit is phenomenal. The quality of the kit, of not even just the print itself, but the assembly of it is really, really good. So everything went together really well. I'm using these are Injora 32 millimeter internal spring shocks. They say mountain on the sides of them, and I just have them flipped in so you can't see it. They're very short. This is being ran in a full group configuration. You can see this is how it sits. And then I do not have a lot of adjustment or travel, I should say. And like I said, this is how I build my cars. I have almost 1 tire of flex. I do have the Trio portal covers up front here. And I have brass hexes in it right now, but I'm going to swap those for the Trio extended hexes that I have in the 6x6. I did put the Galaxy servo in it, metal horn. What else did I do to this thing? I think that's pretty much it. I love this. So basically it's just these like almost like half circular print, the way they did these clips. So they just go right against the chassis braces, whatever you want to call it. And so you put your battery in here. So these fit really good. So what I would do is I would plug this in. I put this in like that. So it sits under this rail. All the wiring would be underneath, obviously. And because it's not plugged in, it might be a little bit pain in the ass to do, but let's see. So basically all the wiring would sit there. You wouldn't see it. This would just go over it. And then you push the front down and bam. So you can see it from in here, but not a big deal to me. But guys, this thing is phenomenal. This is my favorite micro rig right now, and I just finished it yesterday. I really like the Caymans. I think the Gold Digger's a lot of fun as like a rock bouncer, but this thing is sick. After building this, when I was done, the first thing I thought is I have to get the Ripper when it's back in stock. I have to get it, I have to build it, and I have to make a video on it because I'm a fan. I am a huge fan of their parts. Their customer service is excellent, and nothing I've gotten from them has been bad. I mean, I'm using their screwdrivers, you know, for a lot of the little builds, and then I have M&Ps for some of the bigger stuff, but this thing is insane. It's so friggin' cool. I just can't get over it. I literally, every time I walk by it, I have to like pick it up and like play with it and stuff. And the nice thing too is even though I'm extended in the front and rear, the servo fits. I did trim the ears of the servo. I don't know if it's going to come through on video. I just angled both sides here to just fit up into the cage. And I could actually trim the cage with like a little bit of a Dremel, but I just don't want to ruin it. And it sits pretty level as it is. The drive shafts are underneath the axles. You can't really hit those. It was one of those things that as I was piecing it together, it looks like this is literally made to be built this way. No issues. If you copy this exactly, you should have 0 issues putting this together. I will say the one thing I had handy that was helpful was some little parts kits. So this is the Injora parts kit, and I've added screws to this, but some of these longer ones I've used to help out. And then these are the M2 kit that I bought. I think I got this on Amazon. And then I also bought some lock nut washers, or lock nuts. And there's washers under here, and these are just the regular nuts there. But having these on hand and having screw kits in general really helps. I mean, I can tell you when I build my 10 scale stuff, I can kind of show you. This is how I roll. I mean, it's a game changer having just screws handy. So I have all that. I have a bunch of different spacers I can use. And then I also have this for all 10 scale. These are all M3 screws. So anything I'm building, I don't have to worry about piecing you know, oh, I have to pull this from this truck and this has to come from this rig. No, I can just literally pull those out and I have all the screws and nuts and washers that I need. But this video's ran longer than I expected it to. But I just kind of wanted to show some of the stuff. And you know, I don't really have too many running clips right now. I think I have a couple of the Cayman prior to being shortened and four-wheel steered. This I've only ran indoors a little bit here. I'm going to go up to the shop tomorrow and check it out a little bit on their small test track that they have. And then I want to get out there. I haven't had the 6x6 out much, so I definitely will get some more running footage. But I just thought a nice bench video right now, just kind of showing some different rigs. And I think too, being able to compare stuff to each other is really helpful, because you watch someone look at this and you're like, oh, this is pretty cool, and oh, I like the size of it and everything. And then you get something like this and you're like, whoa, it's like, it's hard to tell, but it's just so much different. And the quality is so much nicer. Like, this feels like a toy compared to this. And listen, they're all toys, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I mean, I can't see anything better than I'm saying about Little Guy Racing. Their stuff is awesome. I really hope they get the Ripper in soon, because I really want to mess with that. But I think that would be a cool build with Super 8 axles and then go from there. But I heard too, somebody say they did the FCX24 axles on the Ripper and it worked. But I like having the portals on this too. I mean, it's just so friggin' cool. I really am looking forward to getting this out. The only way this could be cooler is four-wheel steer, but to be honest with you, you don't have the clearance in the back. I mean, could you tweak stuff? Maybe. You'd have to really cut some stuff, and I think that would affect some of the integrity in the back end. So that's something I would really mess with myself right now. But it is what it is. Guys, I hope you liked it. I have a 10 scale rig in the works right now. I'm waiting on the chassis. It's kind of a secret right now, but it is going to be sick. And I mean, even people like Crawlet don't even know what I'm building, because I just don't want them to know until I take it out. So that'll be coming up soon. And then, like I said, I have some running footage of the Cayman. I have a couple like indoor clips just messing around inside with some books and stuff. And I'll have sprinkled that already through this probably. But hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe. Any questions, let me know. But got some other builds coming up. And till next time.